When you read texts like Luke chapter 19, Jesus comes into Jerusalem. Some people are excited. They are throwing their clothes on the floor for the donkey to ride. And then they are praising, "Worthy is he that comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna, Hosanna." And then the Pharisees are saying, "Rebuke them. Tell them to stop that. Tell them to stop that." And the Bible says, Jesus stopped and wept over the city. Even Jesus, there were some things he wanted to do for people that he could not do because the people were exercising their free will. Never forget this. When you understand this, that even Jesus, are you getting this? Even Jesus respects free will. It will give you some perspective. That will be your shock absorber in dealing with people. Let me tell you something. Your best friend can break your heart. You know, when I was in the US, somebody was telling me of his teenage son. When he was a lot younger, all his friends cared less about color. So black children, white children, they all played together. Now, imagine the heartbreak that as soon as they became teenagers and went into high school, suddenly it was abrupt. The parents must have told them something at home. They must have given them the talk. I think white people have their own version of the talk. And the guy who was his best buddy will look at him in school and look away and walk away. And was walking with his white friends. The thing caught him deeply. He couldn't take it. He asked his parents to withdraw him from the school. It was that painful. For some of you, that is your welcome to reality. It is part of the privilege of free will. There is nothing you can do about it. And let me tell you something. Part of the reasons a lot of people struggle to overcome that kind of disappointment is because they never really grasped the reality of the freedom of people's choices. Coming to terms with it will be your protection. Has it ever happened that there is a relative that was being stupid? It broke your heart, but you couldn't do anything about it. If somebody goes to school and instead of focusing on his studies, he's just frolicking up and down, jumping from party to party, you may cry, you can't write the exam for the person. And it is heart-wrenching. But situations like that remind you of the reality of free will. That no matter how much you love people, they will be products of their own choices. And so when it comes to your own relationships, please bear that in mind. It is part of maturity to dwell on what you can control and to accept what is beyond your control. All I can do is to play my part and hope for the best. But listen, people will be people. And so once or twice, at least in your lifetime, things will cut you deep. And cut you deeply. For your own peace of mind, accept it. The heartbreak will be very painful. You know, psychologically, it's painful because there are 4 different needs that heartbreaks just upsets. Your need for pleasure. I mean, first and foremost, it's not a pleasurable experience when you go through heartbreak. So it upsets that. And it upsets your need for connection. Do you know what it means to lose an important person? That someone means a lot to you does not mean you mean a lot to them. It is part of the realities of life. Some of you have experienced it before. That you rate someone a lot. Then one day you discover, this person don't rate me. It was all one-sided. And then the need for control. You know, we like to be able to control circumstances. And so when this unfavorable circumstance occurs and there is nothing you can do about it, it's an unsettling place to be. Something went wrong and you can't fix it. A relationship went south and there is nothing you can do about it. Very unsettling. Very confusing. It also affects your need for esteem. Because many times it will leave you asking, why? What did I do? Or if you're not careful, you begin to ask, what is wrong with me? And the reason your subconscious is leaning towards the possibility that you are the problem is because your subconscious wants to hold on to that pain and wants to give you the idea that there is something you can do to salvage the situation. And it's a very frustrating place to be because many times the harder you press, it's like pressing an open wound. And so, this is the word of the Lord to you. Accept the providence of God. In giving people free will, trust Him with the outcomes of your life. Trust Him. That is the only way forward. Please, are you listening to this? And when your heart is broken, remember the word of the Lord. Psalm 147, I think, verse 3. That He mends the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Do you believe that this night? See, many times in church, especially in charismatic circles, we emphasize physical healing. But this text is telling you He can work on your heart also. You need to believe it. He can help you move on. He can help you recover. You can come out in the future not looking like where you've been. Come on, are you listening to me? And that is healing too. He mends the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds.